So a little bit of movie news here. Um, it has been reported that they are going in the Assassin's Creed movie. They're going to have at least one leap of faith. And for everyone who can't stand CG and is constantly complaining about, oh, there's too much CGI in movies, they should do practical effects. Well, here's one to convince you to maybe keep your trap shut every once in a while. They are doing the leap of faith, a 125-foot leap of faith, for real. No ropes, no safety harnesses, just a stuntman jumping 125 feet downward. So when you see it in the film, I think if they're doing this for real, this is probably going to go down as one of the hardest stunts to ever pull off. This kind of reminds me of that one stunt that they did in the recent Mission Impossible movie where Tom Cruise was like literally hanging on the side of an airplane as it takes off. Now, he had a harness that was keeping him in place, but it's still very impressive to watch, and he actually did it several times, like 7, I think, because he wasn't happy with like little details like his facial expression wasn't the way he wanted it to be, or things like that. Maybe he was just showing off. I don't know.
No, 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 no. I don't look as scared as I should be. Put me back on that plane.
My expression's not that believable. Yeah, strap me back in, everyone. But of course, the Assassin's Creed movie, which is coming out this December, stars Michael Fassbender, and it's only going to be 1/3 assassin, ancient time period versus 2/3 of it are going to be in present day. I don't think that means it's going to be a bad movie. And if they're only going to do 1/3 of it in a place and time where the leap of faith makes sense, they're probably only going to do it one time. And it's probably going to be like the centerpiece stunt of the movie. So, yeah, when you see it in the movie, it's going to be real. That sounds ridiculously dangerous. So what about you, Matt? Are you one of these people that are just like practical effects are always superior to CGI?
No, just because I understand there are limitations to things that people can do in real life where doing it in CGI would just be easier and you could make it look just as good. Um, I think relying too much on CGI is a problem that I think a lot of people do in a lot of action movies.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm
Like, if you're expecting to walk into a Fast and Furious movie and not see any CGI because, there's some people out there who are okay with stuff. Yeah, there's some people out there that still want to go home to their families at
yeah,
the end of the day. And plenty of them get killed on sets all the time. So, yeah, just, when CGI, I think that, yes, sometimes practical effects make more sense. I love practical explosions. I think that you can never quite get an explosion right with CG. Only certain parts of a set can be CG, but most of it needs to be practical, especially the stuff that's really close up and really close for the audience to view. Now, and with this scene, we're not even if he's jumping 125 feet down, which, by the way, that is like 12 and a half stories. So imagine 12 and a half story skyscraper jumping off, no bungee cord, no parachute, just something to catch you at the bottom. I just wouldn't want to be the guy doing that. But even if they did do this stunt with all that stuff, cords or parachutes or whatever, and they just digitally remove that, that's not really CGI now, is it? That's video editing. That's
Yeah.
removing cables from someone who's doing wire work on stuff. And that's another thing. Like, people keep pointing to practical effects as like, oh, they're the pinnacle. When was the last time you watched a movie made in the 80s that relied heavily on practical effects? They're not good. They really aren't, the effects wise. Even Back to the Future, which I love, has some really bad like green screen effects in it that have not aged well at all. And even like, and I've never really liked this movie, but Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, like the wire work looks like wire work. Like, you can tell that something is suspending them in midair while they're doing these crazy kicks like across a pond. Like, no, that doesn't look anything close to realistic or what that should look if it were possible. Like, sometimes CG can be your friend and can make something look a lot better than if you purely rely on practical effects. But I don't think anyone was expecting them to go this route with the leap of faith. I thought maybe they would, cut away and do different camera angles, and we don't quite know what it's going to look like altogether, but I'm sure it's going to be something like how it looks like in the game, but just done in real life. And I believe also he's not diving into a tiny cart of hay, so there is that. They're probably getting like a very large air cushion to do this stunt with.
Probably.